Hello, and welcome to Computer Tech and More. This just in, don't throw away your old SATA-based SSDs. They are still great for other use cases like external storage. So this is a Sabrent brand, and so is this one. And both of these are USB 3.0 original, so that's 5 gigabit per second. And this one, the silver one, is a U-green, and it's the first available that I found that is an external enclosure for SATA SSDs and hard drives. That's UBS3Gen2, so that's 10 gigabits per second. So this one I pre-prepared. I removed the 2 screws from the back, and I can just slide it out. And you do need to be careful not to accidentally yank it out when you do this. That'd be very bad for the hard drive. But this just is powered via the USB plug in the computer. And I have a crystal disk mark running right now, and then we're going to swap it over to the U-green one. So while that's going on, so this is the U-green, and this one's a little bit easier to get into. It just slides open like that. And my Sabrent one, again, I'll have all the products that I have up there. This one has a power switch in the video description, and it just pops open like that. Slide closed. So the main disadvantage while this is running of the new Gen 2s versus the previous generation Gen 1 external enclosures is cost. The new Gen 2 ones like this are much more expensive, and I do own 2 of them because I wanted the extra performance that it came with. And so I still have a couple of the Gen 1 ones floating around, and my eventual plan is to hook them up to my Xbox 360 and Xbox One X, I think, for extra external storage, and them having SSDs, and it should really improve the load times and performance there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this test now. You can clearly see the performance I was getting right there. So now I can unplug my drive, which I'm going to do right now. And luckily with Crystal Disk March, I can have 2 instances open at the same time. And here's the silver one. I'm installing the drive just like so. Slide it into place and plug it into the computer. And bing, bada boom, we are up and running. So I'm going to just go ahead and run it again. And I do apologize that this will take a little bit to view. You can go ahead and fast forward, otherwise you can listen to me talk. So SATA actually tops out at SATA 3 tops out at 600 megabytes per second. USB Gen 1 tops out at 500 megabytes per second, and USB Gen 2, 3 Gen 2 tops out at 1,000 megabytes per second. So with the SATA-based SSD, you're never going to get the full bandwidth that is inside USB Gen 2, but it allows you to use the full performance as if it was hooked up via SATA of your SSD. So again, we're just waiting for that to run. We'll just mainly care about this first number here because all the rest will kind of scale proportionally. There we go. Notice it's 100 megabytes per second faster, and that's because of the that speed difference that I talked about, where USB Gen 1 tops out at 500, but Sata topped out at 600. So there is always some overhead and some bandwidth loss. And the newer the SSD that you have, so the more modern it is, the closer to the absolute maximum limit of Sata it will reach. So I have a FireCuda inside my desktop as its primary storage, and it's actually faster than these. I'm going to have another video with comparing a bunch of different storage of hard drives and SSDs and stuff like that. It'll be a multi-part series. But in effect, so the closer you get to the maximum theoretical performance. So if you have an older SSD, SATA SSD, I'd go ahead and just buy a Gen 1 and be one and done. But if you have a much newer, more modern one, so I would say within the last 4 or 5 years, go ahead and get a Gen 2. But I'm going to go ahead and stop here. You get the idea of the performance difference. The write performance also improves. Well, I guess I'll stop after the first write. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And I do appreciate you all watching and sticking with me while this runs in real time. Oh well, that's a glitch error. I don't know why that happened. But it's not a good example of what's going on. But anyways, that should be higher. I'll investigate that myself later. But thank you very much for watching and have a good day.